Alright, you're on a budget. You've been on grilling on gas on one of these little rigs, which run about 40 bucks. You want to go with a little bit better flavor. You're getting tired of just doing the propane thing. Well, I might have an answer for you. But you have to be willing to go over to the dark side. And here's your answer. For about 50 bucks, you can start cooking on the dark side. Yeah, using charcoal. This is the Weber Smokey Joe. I will show a photo somewhere along the way. I just saw them the other day at Home Depot for still around 50 bucks. It's your little Weber kettle, but a miniature size. So instead of the $250 for the big grill Weber grills, or the $100.50 for the medium size charcoal kettle grills, for 50 bucks you got a pretty good product here. We'll go through a little bit of using it, how to set it up. Okay, setup's pretty easy. We're going to put a little charcoal here in the pan. There's an inner grate. Allows airflow. You can use a charcoal chimney to get things started, but we're going to keep it simple, keep our costs down. So you get yourself a bag of charcoal. I like these little wax fire starters. They're basically sawdust and wax. Get one of those going. Out of the wind. Then I just start stacking my charcoal up around the fire. Alright, we'll let that heat up. We'll come back to this. Okay, well, our charcoal is getting hot. You can see the white. That's what we're looking for. And our coals start turning, looking most of the way that way. That's what we're looking for. So a few more minutes, about 10-15 minutes, we should be good to go. Let's talk about costs. So about 50 bucks for the grill, and that's 2025 prices, at least here in the upper Midwest at like Home Depot or Ace Hardware. For your Weber, they call it a Little Joe or the Smokey Joe. Bag of charcoal, 10-12. Get the good stuff. Don't get that matchlight stuff. That's impregnated with petroleum. It's going to leave a flavor on your food. I mean, yeah, it lights quick, but you get a lot better flavor if you stay to real natural briquettes or the oak chunks. Decent set of leather gloves, because you are handling hot stuff. And then go by the dollar store or Dollar General. Get yourself a pair of solid tongs, preferably the long ones, because you'll use those to move the coals around. So what are we at? 50 bucks for the grill, maybe 15 bucks for the charcoal. A couple bucks for the tongs, a couple bucks for the leather gloves. So under 70 bucks, you'll be grilling for, oh, you're probably going to get 5. It says 4 uses out of this bag, but I would get 5 or 6, especially with the smaller grill. And you know, and your mileage may vary depending on what you're grilling and how you're grilling. But it'll give you a chance to try out charcoal, see if you like it or not. If you don't like doing it all the time at home, you can always save it for when you're going camping. These things make great camping things. And when we get it all done here with the grilling, I'll show you something else you can do with these little Smokey Joes, or Little Joes. And I'll never get the name right, but the mini Weber kettles. How about that? So let's get this warming up a little bit more, and then we'll come back. Okay, let's move around these coals so we can get our grill heated up, so we can kind of clean off if there's any crud on there. If it's a new one, you're probably going to want to do the same thing, heat it, at least wash it once, a little soap and water, then put it over the heat so it burns off any machining oils or whatever else that they put on there. But you can see we got some nice mixture of white, which is the charcoal's ignited. We're going to spread these out. Now if you wanted to have all your heat on one side, you can do that, and then have a cooler area on the other side so you can move stuff. So what I'm going to do is kind of have my hot side over here, and my cool side over here, because we're going to be doing some burgers and some baked potatoes. So I want the baked potatoes not burning up over the fire. So now we're going to take our grill, set that down there. And if you're worried about the heat, put on your leather gloves. The other thing you'll need, and if you've been doing the gas grill, you'll have one of these little scrapers, clean off the stuff. So what we're going to do is just let that grate heat up, and we'll come back and clean that off. So let's let this heat up. What I like to do is have my heat charcoal on one side, the smoke vent on the other side, so the airflow is coming up from the bottom, coming across the coals, and going out this way. So it's not the only way to do it. I'm not an expert, but it works for me. Okay, things are looking warmer. Let's clean off our grates a little bit. I use one of these stone ones. That way there's no chance of wire getting into our guts, causing a problem, or into our throats. So we have our hot side here, cooler side here. I'm going to take some potatoes here. I've got little red potatoes that I've got, and some soy sauce or tamari sauce and avocado oil. Put those over the heat. We're probably 45 minutes into this, so you got to allow a little time for your charcoal to whoops, that was a little spill. Got a lot of time for your charcoal to heat up, obviously, then your grill to heat up. So plan that into your menu. You know, you're not going to be able to just turn on the gas and in 10 minutes start cooking. Got to allow a little time, but it's worth it. The flavors you get are a lot better than the flavors you get off of gas. At least that's my opinion. Alright, we're going to cover this up. Give it about 10 minutes on each side of the potatoes. Then we'll pull those off to the cold side. Then we'll put the burgers on. Okay, I leveled out my impromptu table there, so it doesn't fall over on me again. Remember, if you're doing this in your own place, you probably will set up a little more permanent thing. After we flip these potatoes, I'll show you my normal grilling setup. they're coming along nicely. They're getting a nice little dark. We'll sort of pull them off so they don't get too dark. Another 7-8 minutes on that side, and then I think we'll be ready for the burgers. Alright, let's go over and take a look at the normal grilling rig I use. Alright, normally I'm using a full-size Weber. So I built this little platform with an overhead, but it's basically just a bigger version of that Smokey Joe. But obviously I have my table here I can work on. I got some overhead cover, a little wind protection, so that way I can use this even out I've been out here probably 5 below at the coldest to grill. But if all you're getting started with is a Smokey Joe, we used that for lots of years till I could afford to buy one of these, and then after I had this for a while, this big old grill here for a while on the legs, then eventually I got around to building the stand for it and the overhead cover. So don't be intimidated starting out just with the little Smokey Joe. You'll be real happy with it. Alrighty, let's move those potatoes off to the cooler side there. That way they'll stay warm until the burgers are done. Now you don't have a whole ton of grilling service, so 5-6 burgers at a time maybe at the most. Tonight I'm doing 1 pound of burgers, so that gives us 4 quarter pounders. A couple of pork chops and some potatoes on here would work well. You know, you can adapt. You might have to do stuff in shifts if you're doing this for a big group, say while you're camping. But, you know, I'm doing palm-sized burgers. Alright, so depending on how you like them, I usually go 5 to 6 minutes per side, because the boss likes hers a little more done than I do. So that's the compromise we make. So we'll come back in about 5-6 minutes, do a flip, add some cheese, and see how we go here. So what I'm trying to show you is here on a budget, you can do some nice charcoal grilling. Test some new flavors, do some things that you wouldn't normally be able to do on gas, like a slow cook. You know, you can put the coals all around the side, put your meat in the middle, do a little slower grill. So there's some options that the little Smokey Joe will give you that you're not going to get on a small gas grill, and for not a lot of money. Plus, we still have our special event after we get done grilling tonight. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes. Let's just take a quick peek. I think we can give them a flip. And maybe. Let's go back. I probably could have gone just a little bit longer. But what we'll do to make up for that is we'll have this side go a little bit longer. Now we're going to add some Irish cheddar cheese. I think this is Ballyshannon or Dubliner, one or the other. And after a few times doing this, you will learn what the charcoal's doing, what the air temperature's doing. Today it's about 50 degrees, which is kind of weird for June, but hey, this is the Northwoods. Things happen. We get cold weather, so Now what I'm going to do is leave these go for about 6-7 minutes. Let our cheese melt. Let our burgers cook through so we don't have any real red in the middle. We'll just have some pink. Our potatoes are done. And we'll go from there. So I'll bring you back in a little bit. Well, just like I probably timed it just right. It's been about 7 minutes. The burgers look done. And the rain's starting. And there goes my plate. Make yourself a real table. Don't make a makeshift box table. That isn't working out so hot. Let's get the potatoes off first. Give those burgers a few more minutes to cook through. Or not a few more minutes, but a few more seconds. So this is just to give you an idea how you can do it on a budget. Get started with charcoal. Coming over to the dark side. Once you start using charcoal, I still use the little gas grill from time to time because it's convenient. And you know, and it's better than going to McDonald's. It's cheaper too. But once you start cooking with charcoal, you're going to find things taste better. And it's more of a, I don't know, a ritual than just cooking. Especially for your family and your loved ones. Something special. So, alright, starting to rain. I'm going to get this food inside. And then we'll come back for the finale. Okay, the thing you can't do with those little gas grills that you can do with this, if you're in a place that you can have an open fire, while not being a smokeless fire pit, you can add some firewood and turn this into a fire pit. We use this a lot when we used to go ice fishing. We'd take a small grill like this because your fire is up off the ice. It doesn't burn out. Keeps it contained. So we'll put some wood on there. That's nice and dry. Let me grab a couple other pieces of kindling and we'll get this fired up. So we got our coals. I've added the wood. That should get going. But to get some flames going here for the camera, we'll get it heated up here real quick. Well, there we got it kicking off. Well, not exactly a smokeless fire pit for 50 bucks that you can grill on it. Have a little bit of a campfire afterwards. Something to consider to add into your Rusticator grill kit. Especially if you're transitioning from the little propane gas grill and you want to start starting some charcoal flavor. Now you can reverse the process too. You can start your fire in here, let your wood get down to coals, and then you could cook on it. So you can go both ways. That's up to you to experiment. So I'll let the flames go a little bit there, let you enjoy those, and give it a thought.